Today we're going to look at using your CM2000, 3000, or 3800 to perform a full channel scan. One thing that we will look at first is how to perform a single channel scan and the information contained within, as it'll give you a better idea of what you're looking at when you perform a full channel scan. So the first thing we want to look at is a single channel SLM. When you click on single channel SLM, it's going to give you the measurement results for each channel that's displayed graphically with a numeric readout of the channel. It's also going to give you the frequency, the video carrier level, the audio carrier level, the secondary audio carrier level, the video audio ratio, and the adjacent channel video carrier ratio, otherwise known as the delta. This information will be located on the the right-hand side of your screen. You'll also notice that the acceptability levels are represented within a yellow window presented behind the power level of the channel. A yellow preset pass-fail limit box is also displayed in the background of the graphic display for each bar in the display, and that is represented here. To change that acceptability limit or level depends on where you are going to be testing. In this instance, we're testing at the set-top box. So, the level of acceptability for your analog channel will be located somewhere between positive 4 dB and positive 15 dB. Obviously, we are testing off of a set-top box cable. If we were at the ground block, this level would be unacceptable. So your acceptability window changes and your power level doesn't follow or fall within that level of acceptability, which would indicate why the bar is red. Go back to set top. Okay. The other type of single channel test would be a digital test. This was an analog that we just performed. If you go to a digital carrier, it's pretty much going to be the same thing as an analog test, with the exception to with the digital channel test, you are only going to get your adjacent channel delta, as well as your power level. Again, you have your level of acceptability located behind the channel. You can change that by going to your location bar. If you change it to a location that you're not at, you may or may not fall into the pass-fail threshold. So it's important that you change your location testing location here to get an accurate result when you're looking at it at a cursory glance. Okay, now that we've looked at the single channel measurement, we can look at a full channel scan. That can be accessed by clicking on Tests at the top of your screen, SLM, and then Scan. Now when the test loads, it will automatically start scanning. We'll give it a minute here. When the scan screen is selected, the 2000, 3000, or 3800 sequences through the entire list of channels in the channel plan. That's when you run a full scan. The test then graphs the levels of each of the channel's video carriers and audio carriers for analog channels, or the channel's APL, the average power level, for the digital channels. The scan is continuous, so it'll keep running until you turn it off. Just like in the single channel measurement, you can designate what location you're testing from. So right here we would be testing from the set top. It lets you know right off the bat that we have a couple of frequencies that we're having problems with that are outside of the acceptability limits, that yellow box that was indicated on the single channel scan. When you change your channel location, or your testing location, say to the tap, your set of acceptability limits change, and you'll find that if you're not at the tap, you'll have a lot more frequencies that fail. Okay. Once you're running through a scan, let's go back to the set top. You'll notice that when the channel is within its acceptability limits, they'll show up blue and purple for the analog channels and green for the digital channels. You can also set your markers to identify channels, individual channels that are having problems. Right now I have the white marker set on 693 megahertz, which is channel 107. It's showing that it is outside of the acceptability limit. I believe the acceptability level for the set-top box would be 10 dB, and right now it's receiving at 11.3 dBmV. For another look at your channel scan, you can actually go into the SLM detail, and this will show you all of your channels that are failing during the scan. It gives you a brief overview of every channel that is in the channel map. The top area is where all of your analog channels will be listed, and the bottom area is going to be where all of your digital channels are listed. This might actually be a more accurate way of receiving information about your channel scan. If you see any areas that had failed, it'll give you quick access to the information or the reason why they failed. You can also access just the errors only, so that it'll give you the frequencies that are not passing the test. And then in your summary, it'll give you your basic fail points, or excuse me, your acceptability levels, and those levels that are outside the range in your minimum level, your maximum level, your tilt, peak to valley, your video to audio, your channel, your adjacent channel power levels for your analog channels, and then same for your digital channels. And that is pretty much the full channel scan.